In this video, I am going to be making a guide for how to PvP in Dungeonborne as a Swordmaster. So I'm basically just going to be talking through my thought process and explaining how I am winning these fights. This first clip here is actually quite funny, because I had no idea this person was here, and then we'd both just kind of stare at each other. I test to see if they're AFK or not. They're not because they crouch, and then I just get the fight started. I had the healing potion drank already, so I thought I would just use my E ability. I try and charge up my swords to shoot at them, but I accidentally press Q immediately after I Q one sword, so that means I only shoot one sword at them, which isn't what I meant to do, and then we just battled it out. I got super duper low, but I did end up winning that fight. The healing potion is probably what saved my life there. I knew I had already drank a healing potion before I started fighting that person, and that genuinely could have saved my life there. So always, if you have a healing potion on you, always drink that before you go into a fight, because the health you get over time is going to be very, very, very good in a lot of situations. And also, if you're not really great against the AI or NPCs, it might allow you to tank like an extra hit from a goblin or something, which can also save your life. So that was just a first weird little clip there, but generally, if someone's close to you, you want to use your E ability for the spinny spin sword, and then just stay right next to him, so that keeps hitting, and then just, you know, do regular PvP with a two-handed sword. And then also, if you go far away from them, you want to use the psionic blades to shoot 4 swords at them, but obviously I messed up the psionic blades. I only shot 1, and also they were blocking, so it didn't do much damage at all. In the next game, I am reloading my crossbow after shooting a skeleton, I think, and I'm just doing a bit of looting, and then I hear footsteps coming from this way. I can't see them, so I just assume it's a rogue that's invisible behind this pillar or something. I don't think they were actually invisible at all. I had my E ability going, and then I used my swords because that does provide a slow, so that meant that my E would also be hitting them, and then they just die. So I used the E to try and get close to them. Maybe I should have held out a healing potion so I could hit them more with the E. It actually didn't hit them that much, and then it just kind of went away because I spent a lot of it like not actually hitting someone with the E ability, the spinny spin sword. So what you can do is use the spinny spin ability first and then hit someone with the swords to allow you to catch up to them, because the psionic blades do slow the enemy for a second or two, so that can allow you to catch up to them and let that E get hitting. And then they just die. I don't know if it's just because they are a rogue and rogues are just like naturally really low on health, really squishy, or if they were also low. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, that was just a super duper quick fight. If you use both of your abilities well as a Swordmaster, it's gonna be really, really, really easy to take someone out. The rest of the clips in this video are all going to be from the same match as the previous one, and there's going to be like 3 more clips, I think, because a big thing for the Swordmaster is resource management. So I'm going to kind of like take you through the whole game and go through how I'm managing my swords. Start off with 4 swords, use the E, and now I'm just chasing them down, and they're going to be very, very low from that, then I'm able to just finish them off. So again, 4 swords, the psionic blades, a full volley of that is going to get an enemy pretty low. And then pairing that with your E ability and just instantly chasing them down is going to be so hard to play against. You'll see here I am running a little bit low on swords, but I still do have a few. Always do pay attention to how many you have, so you know what abilities you're going to be using. And I'm just going to skip ahead straight to the next fight. So I'm full crouch walking, and I'm about to open this door because I heard a person through here. I want to go fight them, and I think it is going to be another Swordmaster that's around one of these corners. I see them holding out their swords here. I try charging up my swords. I think they hear that. They get me with all 4 swords. I miss all 4 of my swords, but I do think to use my ability. Now I stay away here even though my ability is active, because I'm thinking they might not have their E ability because maybe they're out of swords. So for the last couple of seconds there, I do hit them with some more E's, and then I'm able to finish them off. So what happened there was they used all 4 swords on me, and even though I missed my swords, I had my E ability. I did that as a defensive thing so that if they push me with their E ability, because it was also a Swordmaster, then we'd be like trading damage, which meant I would have a chance. But then I realized they weren't pushing me with their E ability, which is absolutely what they should have been doing. So I figured that they might have been out of swords. And also, I think I drank a healing potion as well, which made me feel a little bit more confident in that fight. I'm not too sure if they actually had a sword or not. If you watch that clip back, you can probably see if they had a sword or not if I look in their inventory. I think they had 1 blue sword, actually, that they were holding. So I think they didn't have any swords, which I was kind of able to tell from the fight, because the very natural thing to do there is just a push, right? If you get someone low and you're a Swordmaster, you push and then you use your E ability. So that's absolutely what that person would have done there in a usual situation. And then obviously I was able to determine that they just probably didn't have their E ability, so I used mine. I did use it a bit defensively at first to try and get away, and then I was like, oh, this person doesn't have their ability, and then I pushed them with the swords. And now right here is just the next fight straight away. I see them fighting across the room. I have my 4 swords ready to go. I'm very aware of how many swords I have, and this is a fighter, so you gotta block the whirlwind. You gotta watch out for that. I knew it was a fighter because they use their charge ability, which makes the like screaming sound. So I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to block in a second because they probably have whirlwind on. So do be aware of that. Always pay attention to both the primary kind of scary ability that someone has, but also the secondary ability that they have, which in this case is charge for the fighter, because that's going to tell you what their primary ability is. So I was able to prepare myself for the whirlwind there. So I don't actually have any swords here. I'm just going to be on my own. I saw them running away from the enemies. I thought that would be a nice charge attack. It wasn't. Just kind of exchanging some blows here. I'm expecting this person to be fairly low. They parry me. I'm a little bit low, and I am aware of that. They do another whirlwind. Again, you just gotta block it. And if you can, you should try and riposte the last attack. I think I actually hit them there, but I didn't get a perfect parry, so it doesn't do it properly. And then I just got a nice crossbow shot to finish them off. You know, crossbows are very, very, very good if you think someone's low. I thought that guy would be pretty low, and I don't have any swords, so I don't have any ranged options apart from the crossbow. So I just crossbowed them, and then they did die. So in that situation, I didn't have any swords for the second part of the fight, but because I did get them low already with the swords that I did use, it was fairly easy to finish them off like normal. And that's kind of the whole deal with the Swordmaster, right? You want to get people low with your swords, and then you want to just go finish them off like normal. And that's kind of how the Swordmaster works. Another thing I'll say about this class is that they're very, 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 very good and hard to play against if you have swords. And if you don't have swords, they're still okay. They're not very good, obviously, if you don't have swords. Like a Swordmaster that has swords is probably just kind of defeat you, like 9 times out of 10, if you don't have swords. But if you don't have swords, you can still, like, manage the AI and the NPCs completely fine. And if someone's low, you might still be able to win a fight because, you know, they have a 200 sword, they've got access to crossbows. So, you know, you can still win a fight. Even if you only have 1 sword, you could just use that as your E ability, and that's gonna make you have a lot more survivability because you can use that both as attack or as defense. So yeah, just some final thoughts on that. If you're far away from someone, I think you don't want to engage. You generally want to get closer to someone at kind of like a medium range, use your swords on them, your psionic blades, and then chase them down with your E ability. You don't want to start off at a really far range, because if the enemy just runs away and you can't follow up with anything, then you've just wasted 4 swords. So in my other videos, I'll say, like, if you're a fighter or something like that, it's very okay to reset the fight, like run away, pop a healing potion, and try and reset the fight. In this video, you're not going to see that very much, because as a Swordmaster, you have limited resources, right? That's the Swordmaster's whole thing. So if you're a fighter, you can reset the fight, wait for your cooldowns, because then you can just use your abilities again. But as a Swordmaster, if you engage in a fight, if you start a fight, you want to finish that fight in one go, basically, because you don't want to have to use like 10 swords on one person, ideally 5, so like 4 for psionic blades and then 1 for your E ability. And if you can clean up the fight like that, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. But using any more than 5 swords per fight is probably going to put you in a pretty bad situation, because it means you're not going to have any swords for later on. So you want to start off fights, you know, if you know that you can kill the person. If you think the person might get away, if you're too far away, or if there's a boss in the area or something like that, it's probably going to be best to just not engage at all. With the Swordmaster, you don't want to be resetting fights that much. You just want to kind of go in for the kill. Get them low from far away, and then go in for the kill. Use your E ability for extra safety with the AoE. If you've actually got the perk that makes you get 50% damage reduction, this one, if you get the deflection perk, that's very, very good. So if you use your E ability, you get 50% damage reduction to everything, which is very, very, very good. And also the one that heals you when you use psionic blades is very good as well. So there are some nice passive perks that you can have for the Swordmaster as well. But in general, don't start the fight if you can't finish it. And apart from that, they're just a very, very good class. Like if someone's Far away, you can use those psionic blades to catch up to them because that applies a slow effect, and if someone's up close, you can just use your E ability, and then that's going to make them much more hesitant to come up close because that does a bunch of damage, and it lasts a decent amount of time as well. So all around, just a very good class, and so yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.